have a client with Alzheimer's, and she walks around with her little purse, zips back and forth, and puts a lot of stuff in it, including the napkins and the napkin holder, if she can get it in there. Well, one day she came out and she had over $300 in that zip bag. So I immediately called her caregiver, her guardian, and and she came over and I gave the money to her. So workers with values caring for you in your home are very important.
I have one lady that I go to that I think she does more for me than I do for her. I can be very stressed out. I said, when I go to her house, I said, she just lifts my spirits and...
Ooh, I made it!
Well, I could have had a bad night the night before and just kind of crabby. And as soon as I walk through that door and hear Rose's voice saying good morning, I said, she just puts me in a good mood.
And I'm one when I laugh or get a good laugh or a giggle. Talk about anything and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny because you're really not supposed to get emotionally attached to your clients. And that's probably the biggest joke in the whole world, because you take care of these people for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, and you're going to get attached because they're just like family after a while. They're just part of your family. They just become, oh, how could you explain it?
Yeah,
it's not just a job.
It's
not
just a job. It's not just a job.
No.
They're important to us.
But sometimes our visit is the only outside contact they have during the day. So they really look forward to our visit. It is important. I know the client I used to take care of, we got really close. I was there for 3 years. My uncle had passed away, and my client could tell something was wrong, and he said, "Come here." And I went over there and he says, "No, come closer." The man is basically paralyzed from the neck down. And I went down closer and he said, "I'm sorry about your uncle," and gave me a little peck on the cheek. And that just made me feel better. Somebody cared that day. So.
Mm-hmm. They really give more than they get. I feel that we get a whole lot back for what we do in appreciation from our clients.
I really experienced that sentiment on Friday. I attended the funeral of a client that I've had for about 8 months or so. And she was bedridden for the entire time I was with her, and she could only move her eyebrows. And one day we were sick of watching I Love Lucy and all these other old programs from the 50s, and so I turned on the Jewelry Shopping Network because I'm into jewelry and so was she. And we decided to be bad. Mm-hmm. And when a ring came up that happened to be her birthstone and mine, I said, should we be really bad? And I got the eyebrows going up and I ordered the ring. And it came a few days later, and the next time I went there, I gave her the ring to wear and said, it's ours. You wear it now and I'll wear it later. And at her funeral on Friday, her husband made sure I got the ring back.
Oh.
And we have an award. Oh, I did more than cry. At our annual awards, we have a Caregiver of the Year award. Now, when I started, I didn't know what that meant, but I wanted to be Caregiver of the Year. I really did. But I got it Friday because during the eulogy, the woman's brother mentioned the nursing staff she had from another agency for the past 8 years, and mentioned the nurses all by name and her 3 caregivers from there, and mentioned me by name as her new caregiver.
Oh, great.
And when her daughter spoke, she also mentioned our shared ring. I was Caregiver of the Year forever on Friday.
Ah.
That meant more to me than anything.
Cool.
It was wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I felt so appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot tell you. It was just fabulous. But of course I bawled my eyes out then.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the ring.
Mm-hmm.
This is the ring we shared. She's amethyst and I'm garnet.
I mean, in a sense, we're responsible for all of our clients' overall well-being, and sometimes that means even their pets. I remember a time when I was taking care of a client, and her pet had a lot of patches of fur that was missing. You know, and she, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I'm responsible for her overall well-being, which includes her pets and her home. And so I contacted her guardian that the pet needed to go to the vet. Something as simple as that.
Kind of going through the list of values and seeing how you're living up to those values. Just kind of going through the list and seeing where you can improve. And I always have to improve on a whole bunch of them, but just kind of checking things over. You know, sometimes you just kind of fluff off.
I think we have to be mindful of what we're doing, of the values, because like I said, when we go to the committee meeting and we read all those values, all of a sudden, you know, when I get out of there, it's like some will really stick in my mind. You know, it'll kind of bring back a reminder to me to do better or improve on whatever I need to.
And I think we can only change if we do that examination of the values. You can only change if you recognize that you're not living up to that value. So you need to examine them often and be honest with yourself in order to change.
Because we are working in our clients' homes, normally not as a pair with another worker, but by ourselves, probably 99% of the time, there's nobody else to evaluate our cares. So we have to be honest that we are doing the best we can and examine where we need to make some improvement. Because there's nobody else, there's no supervisor per se that's going to come out and say, hey, you're not doing it. The only way somebody would know you're not doing it is if a duty was left undone, and there could be a good reason for that. There might have been some type of emergency or a change in plans because the weather's perfect and we should go out instead of doing something else. But we are the only ones that can really judge our own work.